That's the
It's
question.
very
Yes.
difficult for people, especially since when you reach the airport, you don't have like it's a little overwhelming and all of that. One thing I always suggest is get your 10-day roaming, international roaming pack. It's $3,000 on Airtel, which is there for 10 days. And I think it's 3,500 something now. Definitely get that. You get a certain amount of internet, you know, to use your Google Maps, GPS, and access your ticket and all of that. Make sure you have that before leaving. Okay. Second is you're free. You can order it online. Okay. So if you have an option, order it to your school. Okay. So the day you reach France, you will use your international roaming. Get to your city. Next day, you tell your teacher to bring that SIM card to you. Okay, that's a very useful thing. So that way, what happens is you're using your own bank account. You're putting that details, and it's going to be charged to that. What you need to remember is that as soon as you reach France, you need to change that bank details. You need to put in your French bank card and all of that. All right, because they can't do prélèvement. They cannot take off money from your Indian account. It doesn't work. All right. So make sure you're either using what do you call this? A Forex card, all right, to create this order, and then you change it to your future bank card. All right, keep that in mind. And the third option is you go to your city, you reach your city, you get down at the station, go to the closest tabac, all right, like a small newspaper bookstore. 90% of them have something that we call a borne or a kiosk for free. All right, you just have to put in your name, your passport detail, your address, and your card details. All right, and it'll give you a SIM card then and there. It's pretty straightforward. Another option is to go to a free office directly, free shop. Okay, they don't have free shops everywhere. Keep that in mind. All right, free shop is where you'll get all the offers. You ask them what offers. You can ask them directly. Okay, so the best option among all is to go to a free shop. But if there's no free shop in your city, which is quite possible, huh? Not every city has one. So look for that. All right, you can go for a tobacco otherwise.
Okay, as for me, it was, I remember once I reached the Nice airport, no, I was obviously overwhelmed. New faces, new language. Obviously, I felt like home because I knew French. So it felt like, okay, I'm being put in a situation where I have to give my comprehension, production orale tout le temps.
Correct.
Okay, so after that, I saw this magazine, which was Relay, RELAY.
Oh, yeah.
That is also a great option if you are not able to find any other place to get your SIM from. So Relay is one option. It's like just say airport pe you have small shops. Relay is like that, and you'll not find a lot of places where you find the shop Relay. But even free was not there everywhere. Like in Toulon, it was not there. So I never got the chance to even explore the SIM.
Okay.
So it was not there in Toulon. It's not really a big city, that maybe that is why, but we had SFR, we had Orange, and a few others which I don't remember. So you can obviously go for Relay, free office, SFR if you want to just thoda compare karna, but I would say you have better options than SFR.
That's true. Another thing is when I went for my visa appointment on Friday, they gave me a free SIM card. It was from a company. It was from a company called Lebara. Okay, it is one of those cheap SIM cards that you find in France. The Lebara SIM card that they gave me has €1 loaded onto it, all right, for calls, and it has 100 MB, has 100 MB of data. So I'm already going to France with that. All right. So if you get something like that when you go for your visa appointment, take off 2 and come. Tell them, please give me one more. All right. So Lebara is basically something that works online. So you go up to their website, you recharge your card. All right. So you recharge for a certain amount of talk time, you put internet packs and stuff like that. So in an urgent situation that you need contact, or you need to contact or use internet, Lebara can come to your rescue. Okay, keep that in mind. It's not the best, okay, but worst case scenario, definitely Lebara is an option.
Okay, so I have more questions. If you guys want to make use of this opportunity, go ahead, unmute yourself and talk, okay? Because I have a list of questions I can go on for hours. So if you have any, feel free.
Most of her questions are directed towards people who are leaving tomorrow, as in not tomorrow, sorry, but in a month or two from now.
September, yeah.
All right. But your questions would probably be for people leaving 1 year down the lane. So welcome.
We can make this a mixture of
Manali,
both the things.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Manali.
I have quite a different question, not related to visa or in France. I have a question related to how would they choose you, like whether you, you're going to teach in a school or a college or sometimes both. And what do you do in, like, what is your job role basically apart from the lesson planning and motivating students to just talk? Is there anything additional we need to know in that aspect?
Very good question about choosing assistants. All right. The choice, how assistants are chosen, is 90% dependent on your motivation letter. There's a letter that you're supposed to write along with your application form, right? Make sure you're don't ask someone to write it for you. That is number one mistake that people would do. Like, your motivation letter has to be who you are, why you want to do the program, and what you've done in your life, basically. Just keep that in mind. Second is you yourself choose whether you want to teach in an école maternelle, which is primaire, or a secondaire, which is basically a lycée or collège. Collège is primary school and lycée is high school. So you choose your priority. Hopefully you get placed there. All right. And when it comes to your role, I know that when you teach in primaire, your role is extremely different compared to your role in secondaire. I have always taught secondaire, and there you're not teaching. In a primaire level, yes, you will be teaching. All right. I know you're not supposed to be teaching on an assistant contract, but you end up teaching because that's how it is. All right. At the lycée, you will mostly do what the teachers ask you to do. All right. Like, if the teacher says this class is working on I'll give you a certain example using examples of what I've done in class. I think that's the easiest thing to do. One of the teachers in my first school, she worked on a dossier, a file about India. All right. So she spoke about marriages in India. She spoke about women in India, and she spoke about how the comparison between how women were seen before and women are seen today, right? That progress and all of that. Basically, it was under the acts of progress. Now, acts and all, what these words are, probably we'll discuss some other time. But we were talking about the notion of progress. All right. So what could I do? Right. Think of what I can bring into this picture. Right. So we spoke about matrimonial ads. All right. So we spoke about how in our newspapers, we do have matrimonial ads. We have, what is that? BharatMatrimony.com or EliteMatrimony.com. We spoke about the presence of all of this. And then, that's how you take forward. So you help, your objective is basically to give them material that they can use in their final exam. All right. How you prepare your DELF for your DELF B2 rather. You prepare an expose. You prepare like a whole expose based on a document. They have 3 documents. They have to prepare an expose using all the 3 documents. Your objective, from what I understood, okay, it's not written on paper. What I understood is that you're supposed to make them prepare for that exam. Basically, give them enough material for them to be able to easily use all of that in their exam, because they're given 2 or 3, I think they're given 2 choices, and if fortunately they get the choice that they've worked on, that's good scores for them. All right, so that's to put it in short, that is your role. Make sure they speak for that exam. Okay,
thank you, Sagar.
This actually reminds me the topic that you were talking about, women and the progress, the whole role of society and everything. I remember I was put in the same situation in the same class, and I was asked by my professor referent, who was also my colleague. She told me to prepare a bunch of 15 students for this particular exam that Sagar just told you about. When I used to get this class every week, so I used to get 1 student per week, and I used to train that particular student. And they used to make a whole paragraph, and they used to present that to me. It was like a one-on-one personal examinator situation. So that is what they were preparing for. So you could be put in that situation also. You could be just asked to do it on your own. Like, you are free, you can teach them whatever you want, just get them to talk in English.
one thing that I really request, what I noticed in my first year was that some of the basics were not very strong. So I personally, I went ahead to my professor and I was like, Angela, that was her name, can I do grammar through games? She was shocked, like, grammar, no, we're not allowed to teach grammar. I was like, no. We're doing games and my objective is grammar. So, we would play simple games related to past participles. Like, what is the past participle of eat? I have eaten, right? So, eaten. So, we would play simple games of this sort that will also help them make sure their grammar is also perfect. So that they're not making stupid mistakes like I have ate.
Yeah. Can you
Correct.
give one example? What was the game that you used to play with your students?
This worked brilliantly. Okay, it was like a rapid fire kind of a thing. I would make my students sit in a circle, and I would literally I would tell them, guys, you give the other person a verb, and the other person has to give it in the past participle. And people go so fast, and when they make a mistake, we're like, no, okay, get up and move out of the thing. So they love competition. When you put each other against each other, they love that. All right. Another thing that we worked on was dictionary. All right. So what I did is, instead of giving them one word, I gave them the whole sentence. I gave them a whole sentence, like, my mother is tall and my father is short, like giving a small example, right? They had to draw the whole sentence, right? So even one word was missing, like, for example, my mother is, they would skip the verb. I don't know why the French love skipping verbs for some reason. I'll be like, no, it's incomplete. So getting them to understand it's a verb, action, something like that. So those are some things that I did with people who had a slightly lower level. All right. So that's an activity that you could probably do, but there's tons and tons of activities. You go through, a lot of assistants have come up with these reading material and all of that, right? So you could probably go stalk some assistants and pick up material from them. Right.
And maybe ask them, they'll be happy to share some PDF if they have, because some assistant, they just keep everything in store so that future assistant can make use of it.
Yes,
so you can also do that.
Me. I created
I know.
an assistance drive. All right. So 2 years ago, I created an assistance drive where all Indian assistants upload their study material, not study material, learning, what do you call it, lesson plans, sorry, on this Google Drive. It's not too much. It's still little bit, like very few lessons are there, but what is there is amazing. Go have a look at that. I'll probably send out that link some other time to you guys. Assistants who are going this year have already explored that, and there's a good amount of activities on that. So feel free to explore that also. All right.
You can obviously get some ideas and maybe personalize them according to your taste and what you want to teach.
Correct.
And if you have any questions, keep them ready, because I'm going to just take one more question and then Setavu. Okay. So there's this question. I would stay with a friend and the house rent document is on her name. So would that be a problem for my bank account? And she also adds, it won't be my permanent housing situation. It will be only there for a month. And after that, she'll be changing the accommodation. So would that pose a problem for her bank account, do you think?
So bank account, no, because I know that you can give your leases or your college address as a proof for address. So I don't think that should be a problem. Also, in case the bank is a little strict, which is possible, this person who's accommodating you will have to give you something that they call an attestation d'hébergement, attestation d'accueil. All right, which clearly states that you are staying at this person's house from this date to this date. All right, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. All right, best case scenario, give your school's address. So everything that has to do with, in terms of communication, goes from bank to school direct. All right, but but in my case, I was staying in a different city now altogether. That did not make sense. It did not make sense to send my letters to my school. I was staying in Strasbourg, but I was working in Saverne, right? So I got my bank account transferred to a Crédit Agricole that was very close to my house, right? So keep that in mind. The address is very important. Don't give a random address. All right, try to give an address that is more permanent, which makes things easier for you.
Right. I used my lycée address for all these administration work. That was the easiest, because all my letters and mails, everything would go to the lycée, and then my secretaria would take care of it and then just hand it over to me. So that was the best option.
Exactly. Yeah, that honestly, it's more practical to do that. It's a lot more practical to do that.
Okay, so if you have any questions, ask away. And after that, we'll be just winding it up.
Yep.
I want to ask that if we are doing this program, with this, can we do some part-time jobs also? Like I have read somewhere that we cannot do any part-time job if we are doing this program. And we could rather give tuitions, home tuitions.
That is right. Okay, that is right. Now, I know that there was a certain discussion that was taking place where, you could do a certain number of hours and stuff like that, but it is not legal. All right, because you're going on a temporary traveler's passport, travailleur temporaire, and your contract is the arrêté de nomination, which says you will be working for 12 hours. That's all, right? So at that point in time, it's better to do tuitions and stuff like that where you're getting paid in cash. All right. So
like freelancing activity only we should do. Yeah.
You don't want to get in trouble with any authorities and stuff like that. All right. To be honest, to keep myself also safe, I would only take classes in India. All my classes would come from India. So all my freelancing would happen from India. So technically, I'm not infringing any rule, any law in France. Sorry.
How much money would you suggest to take with us once we are leaving?
1,000 euros. 1,000 euros in whatever case. All right. I took 1,000 euros both my years. I never ended up using all my 1,000 euros. But to be comfortable, the first time you're going to France, definitely take 1,000 euros, 600 in cash or 400 in card, or the other way around. 600 in card and 400 in cash. Just make sure if you're not too okay with cash, make sure you take lesser cash. All right, but 1,000 euros is something that I would definitely recommend. That's what, like 90K or something today. I know it's a big number, but make sure
but
that's
in
something
euros
that
it's fine because you'll be spending all that in paying maybe rent and something
in
like
your
that.
first second week, you will be paying all of that to set up your Wi-Fi, to set up your phone, to set up a bank account. You definitely need a certain amount of money that you need to put into your bank account. So
and
you
the security
need
money
that.
Also for the rent.
Correct. Deposit. Now, if your deposit is only 500 euros, how are you going to spend your first month in 500 euros? Keep that in mind. All right. So 1,000 euros is good. Yes,
any more
okay.
questions?
Yeah. Like, is there any more chances to get selected? Like, if we have a B2 Delft rather than the B1, like, no. Or it okay.
The French level does not matter as long as you have a B1.
And the marks also okay. Marks also doesn't matter.
Does matter.
No. Delft. No. About the Delft.
Because see, French is only needed. It's
for
not
the communication.
Needed. Exactly. It's not
just
needed
for survival.
Exactly. Okay. Now, of course, I'm saying just for survival does not mean I'm undermining French. You need French. Okay. Imagine going to Pont. No one speaks English. Okay. No one speaks English in Pont, and you don't speak French. You're going to have a tough time. All right. So
I think in most cities of France, people don't really speak English. They are quite hesitant to speak English, even though they do understand it. So French is basically just to understand and make your life smooth in France, so that you understand what is happening around and you are able to do your daily stuff. And your target, basically, your job is basically to teach English, to make people comfortable in English. That is your job. So marks doesn't matter. Last time bhi ek question aaya tha, and people were confused that do we need to get a certain number of percentage in Delft B1 or B2, or if somebody has appeared for Delft B2, will they be giving more preference to that person? That's
then
not.
Why would they even say you need a B1? They would say you need a B2 now.
That's the point.
IELTS, you definitely need a good score. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure they're saying 7.5, but doesn't mean you get 7.5.
I got lucky, but har kisi ka nahi hota. I got 7.5, but I was in this program. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just aim for higher than 7.5. Baki rab rakha.
Correct. So because see, it's not one thing that decides. It's not 7.5 he's an assistant. No, it's not like that. It's your motivation. It's there's like almost 10 questions that you need to answer on your application form. So it's not a simple thing that, yeah, he got 7.5 selected. No, they study your motivation. They study what you might do. Like there are many questions. Like for example, Bhavna, if you can remind me of the questions that are there in the application form.
In the application form, there was this question that what other thing you are good at, and then some people write some other language, and I remember I wrote sports, and you just need to tell them what all you can do, so they can think of all the possibilities that you can do in your place of work. So that is the whole point.
One thing that I can probably tell you is I don't know if this had an impact because I was not placed in this school. There was a school close to my city, all right, in another city called Lycée Bellevue, all right, and in Lycée Bellevue they had a program where the students would specialize in tourism, all right. Now I mentioned that I was a tourism graduate, but I was not necessarily placed in that school. But I know that would have added a lot of advantage, a lot of value to that school, all right. So in this question that Bhavna mentioned, best to put everything out there, all right, what you specialize in, what you've done, what you like doing, so that it helps them take a better decision, basically, all right.
And one more thing, guys, once you go there, don't hesitate to make links, because the part-time jobs and all those things that you think you want to do, they will come to you more easily, more naturally, and more smoothly with the links. Like if there are 2 colleagues who are working with you and rest of them, they just come to the staff room and then you just say hi to them, maybe just talking to them and just telling them who you are, because I think mostly all the colleagues know, okay, this is this assistant who has come from this country. Assistant is really celebrated. So you can just make links and your life will be very smooth. And your stay will be very smooth in France.
So I was very besharam. I would print out things in my salle de professeur, that is the teacher's room, and I would put, je suis allé à ce restaurant indien, c'est très bien, et je vous recommande gna 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 plat, and put down the names of them. So people would actually read the stuff that I was putting up on the notice board, and they would come have conversations with me. So, making the contacts is not very difficult in France. You have to just be proactive. All right. So every month I would put something up. Children's Day, cute little post. I put up like one nice for 14th November. I put up like a nice cute little thing on the notice board. For Republic Day, I put up something on the notice board. For vacations, for Christmas, so I also put up something on the notice board, right? So that simple thing, it seems so small, right? But the results that it would give are quite big. So keep that in mind, okay? Take that step forward. Go make your contacts. Do sweet things. I took invent melody and all of that with me, and I just kept it on the teacher's table and be like, "Here's chocolates from India." You
That's
could do
so
things
sweet. You have given them quite a lot of ideas. And so?
Son papdi. I took son papdi and they loved it. They loved it. Probably something that you should definitely put on your list. Take son papdi to France.
That's a smart choice, because son papdi is actually very light. Bhari bhi nahi hoti, you can easily carry that in your luggage.
And it lasts. Okay, if you get that Haldiram wala and all, it lasts for a good amount of time. So take that and go.
Smart choice. Yep. Any other questions, amigos?
Yeah, one last. Not being an AFD student, or like not being an all-in student, so how do we because we have to mention there, like for you have to be a student for being to apply for the system and all. So how can we just?
There is no way around this rule, Mridul. You have to be a student at university or be a student at an Alliance Française. There's no way around. When I asked, then I don't remember the director's name of the Alliance Française de Bangalore. I sent her I think it was Laure. I sent her a mail, saying that this is the program that I'm really interested in. And she herself suggested, why don't you take up B2? I happily took up B2 before going. So, take some course up at an Alliance Française. It does not necessarily have to be that long course. All right.
For the sake of student only,
Yeah.
Just to have the student status.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is an attestation from the Alliance Française will help.
Yeah. And for the references only, the teachers also for the Alliance as well.
Yeah. It does not only have to be Alliance. Remember, your reference can come from your university professor. from like Manali, for example. Not sorry. Yeah, I mean, if Utsav sir were to give you a, I'm not sure if you remember him, but if he were to give you a certificate, that would also be accepted because he taught you at university. All right.
Okay.
So
Any
not necessarily
university
Allianz
like
concepts.
Yeah,
French
yeah.
university must be now, like
French.
the teacher
A
would
French
be
teacher.
French.
A
Yeah,
French
that's
teacher.
it. Okay, right. Okay.
Sagar,
Thank you so
what about
much.
conversational classes? Like, as you told, we need to be a student of Allianz. Do they even accept if we just join some conversational classes and not a
I'm
full-fledged?
assuming yes, that should work because it does not mention what kind of student you're supposed to be, whether a long-term, short-term course. What you could do in this case is you could reach out to your Allianz Française and ask them, if I sign up for this course, I would like to be an assistant. Is it possible for me to sign up for a high-level course because I've already completed B2 or something like that as a conversation classes, and would you give me a certificate? So always ask. Okay, don't assume. And now is a good time to start asking. All right, especially since you guys are leaving next year and starting to apply now. Now is a good time to start asking. All right, and since you have 1 year, it is anyway advantageous to do a higher level. So Manali, it is anyway advantageous to do a C1 because imagine going to France with a C1, you have zero problems with language.
You understand
So,
all kinds of accents.
everything. So you won't be like,
Come on.
document. Exactly. At the bank, and I'm like, what's she asking me? I don't know. Then I had only a B2. So even with a B2 at some point in time, I was like, I have no idea what she's asking me for. So anyways, doing a higher level is going to be good for you guys.
Also, one question. Yeah, Manali, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, I had another question. How do we prepare for our IELTS? I mean, do we need any coaching or videos are sufficient? Many people say that it's just.
You speak perfectly good English, Manali.
Exactly. Manali,
you just need some brushing up and just you need to understand the format. That's it. You just need to train yourself on the format.
A lot of assistants ask me this question. How do I prepare for IELTS? I ask them one question. What is your favorite color? If the answer to this question is hara, neela, lal, pila, the IELTS will be difficult for you. But if the answer to this question is black, green, yellow, blue, the IELTS is going to be easy. Because you think in English. We think in English. So the exam as such, all you need to worry about is the format. Get used to the questions. Get used to the kind of time
time management is one very important thing in IELTS.
Important thing for the written part, especially. If you're preparing for that, you're good. I prepared 24 hours before the exam.
Oh, okay.
And I will say it was a mistake because I ended up getting 7.7 or something in written, which is bad. Okay, because like I'm supposed to be a teacher. Sorry, Manali.
That's
you said only 24 hours. What do you expect, huh?
And it's still good. 7.7 is still good.
Exactly. And I ended up acing the listening. I ended up acing the speaking. I got like 8.5 and 9. So listen, it's
and
the same thing.
Actually, I think listening is one part where you can score like crazy. It's very easy if you are watching Netflix shows and all that. Listening would be the easiest part. So that is your chance to, how to say, ace up your IELTS score.
Correct. Because if you get in two parts, if you get a 9 or an 8.5, that 7.5 is easy.
Yeah.
Getting that 7.5 is easy. Because your average, basically you're getting 9 and 9 in speaking and listening, or let's say 8.5, and if you get a 7.5 or a 7 in the other two parts, you still have passed. You still have got that minimum that you need. Makes sense. So if you think one part is difficult for you, try to reach at least a 7 in that part while making sure you're reaching an 8.5 in the other parts. Make sense?
Yes.
And practice time management. That is the most important, because you will get distractions also in that time frame that you have to complete this particular question. Your mind will be running and you will be anxious also, nervous also, and a lot of pressure that I want to do this assistant this year. So practice on time management. That'll give you a bonus. Any other questions?
So my question was, what preparations should we do in terms of documents before they start taking in the applications? So what are the documents which we need to, get ready with?
immediately for your file, you will need your police clearance certificate for your make sure you have your PCC. Bhavna, correct me if I'm wrong. You need to send in your
it's PCC. Yes.
Correct. You need to send in your police clearance certificate. So that is one thing that you start doing in the month of August, so that by October it is ready. All right.
I think a little later than August, Sagar, because I'm not sure if it's right. It's only valid for 3 months, I guess.
3 months? Yeah.
No, 2 years.
No. Police clearance certificate is not valid for a long time.
I read it on their website.
Maybe now because of COVID could be different. I don't know, because back then when I applied and I got the PCC, it was for 3 months. I remember.
I think, Aishwarya, what mistake they are making is that the IFI asks for a PCC less than 3 months old. Okay, I think that is something that is that might be what
we can verify. We can verify.
Yeah,
don't worry.
All right, but don't get it right now. Wait at least for 2 months or end of August, September beginning, because the applications open in October and they close on the 2nd of December. All right. So by the time you're applying, if you get your PCC, that is more than enough. All right. Just make sure that you're at the same time. Okay. Second is make sure your IELTS exam is written. IELTS exam. You need your IELTS scores. So that's another document that you need. The third document, I don't know what happened last year, but I think that they had an exception for DELF. All right. As long as you showed you've signed up for your DELF, it was enough. This year, please write your exam in September. Please. I know it is happening in Bangalore. Manali, it is happening in Bangalore.
Not in Delhi yet.
Not yet? They have not announced
it.
Not
in Mumbai yet.
Okay. I know that they have announced it in Bangalore. So I don't know. You want to come to Bangalore and write it? If it's worth it, please do.
That's one option. Yeah, and talking about this, Sagar, there was this question, abhi mera dimag mein aa gaya, that when is the best time to appear for DELF B1 and IELTS? If somebody is looking forward to apply for assistant this year. What do you suggest? Because I have given my answer a lot of time. Maybe we can hear your perspective also. What do you suggest?
See, they don't have a choice for the DELF. If they haven't appeared for their DELF yet, they have to appear for the month of September because they don't have a choice. After that, I don't know if the Institut Français en Inde will accept because of COVID, will accept people who are writing into December. They did it once. Does not necessarily mean they'll do it again. All right. So September for the DELF, whichever you want to write, and for the IELTS, typically August, guys, because that way you get one more month if you don't get 7.5. If you don't get 7.5, you can reappear for the exam in September. All right. So please make sure your exams are done by September, because it takes time to get your score sheets. DELF, because of the pandemic, it's taking 3 months for you to get your attestation de réussite. So
seriously,
I took 3. It came to me like a week ago. I wrote my exam in the month of March, so it took 2 months. April, May, June. Sorry, it took me 4 months. I'm sorry, 4 months if I'm precise. So now is the perfect time. All right. Yes, Ankita, BA is accepted. It is accepted. So it's either a B1 or a BA in French. Okay. So if you're in that situation, awesome, brilliant, you're good. But if you haven't written your DELF, now. Okay, now is the time.
So you were saying PCC, then the IELTS score, and what else in the documentation?
PCC, IELTS, DELF certificate, attestation de. If you need to be if you need to have the attestation of being a student at an alliance, I think some universities give NOC or bona fide certificate or something like that, which you need to upload. That is something that you should start getting now. After all of this, okay, before that, you all have passports, which are valid
passports. For what's the minimum time duration?
6 months. 6 months.
6 months. More than that. 6 months is the minimum.
For the visa. Yeah, minimum for the visa. And I think for the program, they will say 1 year.
1 year,
it has to be valid for 1 year from now in order for you to be able to apply for the, in case it's not, then for the new passport and then the visa. So keep that in mind. Your passport has to have validity. So before these certificates, passport is number 1. Okay. Then these certificates, after all of this, once you get your selection, your birth certificate, your apostillation, your translation in case it's not in English, and all of that is involved. Okay.
Okay, what happens when your birth certificate is bilingual?
If it's
So
as long as
mine
it's
is
in
in
English, it's fine. If
yeah,
it has
mine is in
English,
Marathi and in English.
mine
So
is in
that
Kannada.
Any regional language plus English, that is acceptable.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? I think we have covered all the aspects of assistant in this video. But you can obviously check out other videos. I have made plenty of playlists by now, assistant d'anglais, conversations and all that. So you can check all that out. And about this thing, that what you need to do once you reach France, I think Akshad has covered all the aspects, Kartjan, Kart Vitar Etusa. So you can check out Akshad Wali video also if you want to know more about it. Okay. Okay, so shall
one
we?
last question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Which regions do you prefer?
I prefer my regions.
Every assistant will say that no, my region is the best.
Yeah. To be honest,
No, according to the climate and everything.
It is very personal. Okay. Being an Indian, I'm supposed to like the heat, or I'm supposed to be used to the heat. But I hate it when it's hot. I love it when it's cold.
You are in Bangalore, Sagar. What do you mean? Bangalore has the most pleasant weather in India.
Correct. So that's why in Strasbourg, I would roam around in chappals and people will be like, where are you from? So it's a very personal question, Aishwarya. Strasbourg has extremely harsh climate. It's so cold. It's so cold. And Poitiers has extremely harsh wind. So if you're not used to that, you'll be blown away. It's possible. All right.
It's really that strong. पहले मुझे भी यकीन नहीं होता था how strong can a wind be, but it can literally blow you off.
Yeah. And full night you listen to the window whistling the whole night. So if you're scared of all that, don't go close to the sea or where it's too windy.
Yeah.
After all our Hut and all of that we watched as kids, that's extremely scary. It's very difficult to answer that question, Aishwarya, which is the best academy.
It actually depends on your taste, no? What you like, what kind of weather you like and all that.
Correct.
Something that's moderate, not in extremes.
Orléans, center of France. Not extreme.
But I think wind everywhere is very strong. Even in south of France, which is supposed to be very sunny and all that, the wind used to be crazy.
Yes.
So it gets cold everywhere. It gets cold everywhere. And you think next to the beach you don't feel cold because I don't know, sun is a little more and all that. But the wind that comes there is cold wind. So people who stay in Marseille have had a tough time because of the cold winds. At least in Strasbourg, feeling cold because of the weather itself. And then there's cold winds and breeze that is coming onto you. Difficult. Okay. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Any other questions? कोई और doubt है? पूछ लो. Chalo,
if not, also don't worry. Feel free to reach out to any of us on Instagram. Okay.
You can DM him.
Going step by step, because I think everything together will just end up thinking on like what to go first. So yeah, and also like thank you so much, guys, Sagar and Bhavna. This was so I'm really grateful I could attend this session. End moment though, but thank you, Bhavna, and I got to know you today through Sagar. So I'm really glad that I could meet you.
Thanks to you guys, honestly, because I told him when we were talking on the phone, I told him, Sagar, let's only have 5 to 6 students. And then I was like, Sagar, I've got 7, 8 already. He was like, Bhavna, you need to put a stop. It max should be 9. I was like, okay, Sagar. Abhi bhi request aa rahi thi. So it was actually your responses also. So questions to aate rahenge. So feel free to reach any of us. Divya, Karishma, Akshad, Sagar is also here now. Main to hui hu. So feel free.
Yeah, everybody is very happy to help. Okay. So everybody is very happy to help.
Thanks a lot for just being here for all of us, because there were a lot of questions when I got to know about the program, but then I discovered your channel on YouTube and like 70-80% of them are cleared. Okay, I know the answer for these questions. So yeah,
that's great.
Eternally grateful to you.
Thanks to you. Yeah, your ऐसे words होते हैं ना, I just fall short of words. But thanks to you guys. Thanks for staying 1.5 घंटा. That is also a matter of patience.
Yes. And listening to two people just rant, like in a positive way, of course.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting.
Thanks to you two for sitting for all of us for what, 1.5 hours? Yeah.
Yeah. I think this should be the specified time. जब भी assistants का get together होता है ना, it's become a
1.5
limit. 1.5 घंटे से पहले it cannot stop.
Yeah.
I
know.
try to, but रुक ही नहीं जाता.
Correct.
Never mind. We always have fun whenever two assistants get together. ना, I wonder जब हम सारे assistants एक जगह पे होंगे तब क्या ही होगा.
Correct. I know when you guys have your orientation in Delhi, my God, what a brilliant experience.
Crazy.
Unfortunately, people who had their orientation online did not have that experience. But hopefully next year COVID is not there. I mean, COVID is under control, and you guys get to meet each other, because that is where that bonding starts. You have such a good time on that one night. You don't sleep. Okay, I still remember we were in one room, all people from different parts of the city. I think we were 25-30 people in one room discussing to kitna rent they, how much are you paying for rent? How much are you paying for rent? Oh, guess what? I'm not paying a rent. So all these stupid conversations, but that bond that got created set the next 8 months. Oh yeah, I'm going to stay over at this person's place. Iska ghar bada hai. She's going to invite me, or I'm going to visit that person. So that experience is something that you guys will definitely cherish when you become assistants and meet on that one day in Delhi.
He's actually talking about all those people who live outside of Delhi, because they are supposed to be in Delhi on that particular a day before orientation, right? So they because I am from Delhi, तो मुझे ये मौका तो नहीं मिला था. You guys were lucky enough to stay in that hotel and all that. I was like, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, soft bed नहीं मिले तो क्या हुआ, आराम से रहेंगे.
Correct. But yeah, that is a good experience. Okay, meet assistants from all over India and chill, get to know them, and then fly together after the orientation.
It actually feels like a community, a place where all of you belong together. So बहुत अच्छी feeling होती है. I just hope you all get through all this procedure and all that, और वो सब experience करो. और खुआ ले दुआ.
Best of luck, guys.
Okay, bonne chance.
Thanks a lot.
Au revoir. Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
Merci. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup.
Bye bye.
Au revoir. Merci.
Okay, so this is approximately 1.5 hours later. All of us have just finished the Zoom video call, and it was amazing. It always feels so refreshing, and I don't know, I cannot ever put it in words how I feel like connected with the assistant. And then this was the first time that you guys were also a part of this. I think this was a success, and I would like to do this more often in future, and to have even more of you guys on board and be a part of this conversation. And I just hope all these things, Globalmo, it helps you guys, and we just keep fulfilling each other's dream. At least we can share the knowledge that we have, and then maybe help other dreamers fulfill their dreams. And this is a ripple effect that keeps on going on. Uske baad it goes on to the next dreamer, and it felt like I was sharing the screen with 8 other dreamers. So that was amazing, and I'm so sorry for other people who wanted to be a part of this video call, which we could not have. Like, this was the first time we were doing this, and kudos to Sagar who said yes. मैंने उसको इतना end moment पे I was like, Sagar, let's do it. And kudos to him that he agreed to it, and we could do this video call with all of you guys. So thanks to you, Sagar, and all of you who joined: Manali, Aishwarya, Tanushri, Reva, Diksha, Mridul. I hope I'm not forgetting any names, but in future there'll be more Zoom video calls like this. Yeah guys, that's it for today's video. I know it was a very long video. I just hope मैं एक ही part में सारा डाल दूँ. If not, it will be 2 parts. But I just hope it was helpful. You liked it, enjoyed, and if you stayed for the whole 1.5 hour video, kudos to you as well. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button also, so that you are notified every time I upload a video, which is usually Tuesdays and Fridays 5 p.m. Share this video with all the people you think will benefit from this video, and I'll see you next time. And also feel free to leave your questions, comments, thoughts, everything in the comment section below. I'll see you next time. Till then, you know what to do. Dream, hustle, and explore. Bye bye.